One of the most affecting experiences I've ever had was I was living in New York City at the time, and I was on the roof of my apartment with my friend. And he started talking to me. I was kind of listening. And, we're just looking out over the skyline and started to pay attention. I realized my friend was talking about basically how he was struggling with suicidal thoughts, or what's the point of life, meaninglessness, all that, and why not just do it? And I was like, oh shit, my ears perked up, like I should pay attention. And I tried to console him, but at the time, I pretty much just agreed with him. I was going through the same shit, struggling with the same stuff. Life is meaningless. We're all gonna die. It's pointless. Why not just get it over with? Like, I had those thoughts and I didn't have any good answers. But I cared about my friend, and seeing him obviously in pain, like I didn't like that. I didn't want him to feel that. And I tried to console him, but I did such a bad job because I didn't believe the words that I was saying. Like I didn't know what to say, and not like, oh, I'm embarrassed, this is awkward, I don't know what to say. It was like, if I was being honest, it would have just been like, yeah, I agree with you. But I didn't see that as helpful. And I did such a bad job that by the end of it, he was like consoling me for doing such a fucking bad job of trying to console him. It was very, it wasn't great. And, I just felt like a loser. It just made me feel like so weak, and I just felt like an absolute ding dong. And then furthermore, it was just like, yeah, like we're in a pickle and I don't know what to do. And I was worried about what was going to happen for both of us. But eventually, life moved on. We're both still here. And, I don't really know what he's up to, what he's on now, but Jordan Peterson was very helpful for me in terms of I was lost, and his words helped me navigate through that. And I really tried to focus on what's true, on saying, just being honest with myself, where I'm at, and blah, blah, blah. And then a few years later, after that experience, I had a friend who died from an overdose. He was one of my best friends in high school. And, he'd been dealing with drugs and all that stuff that comes with it for a long time. So obviously, our relationship wasn't as good. He lived in a different state. I don't think he had good relationships with anyone. And I was very sad to hear that he died, but also at the same time, I was kind of like, yeah, that's what happens when you continually inject drugs into your veins. Like, it's kind of what happens. And I questioned whether even going to the funeral, but then I was like, I think I should go to the funeral. And then I also felt that I should write something. But then I was like, how can I write something that's true about someone who's been a drug addict for 10 years, something that's worth saying, something that's good, something to say at a funeral, a celebration of life, other than, oh yeah, drug addicts die. And that's the end of my speech. Like, there's no point in even saying that. And then, I went to the funeral, and I had something written, and I really tried hard, mostly with Jordan Peterson's words in my mind, of just like, all right, try and say something true, honest, and something good, like something worth saying. And because I've always hated, like, if I'm at a wedding or a funeral, just like the absolute just drivel platitudes that people say. Like, I hate that. So I didn't want to do that. And I think I pulled it off. Pretty much no one else spoke. No one else. I think a lot of people just didn't really know what to say. And I said some words, and it seemed to be good. People seemed to appreciate it. And tying that to where I'm in now, that's just a very small example. But I felt like when I really focused on, like, okay, what's true and what's good and what's worthwhile, was able to find the right words to say. And tying that into where I'm at now, just in the middle of nowhere in Virginia, on the side of the road, biking to the tallest mountain in every single state, climbing them. Why I'm doing that is because I feel that for me to speak to myself, anyone that would come across, a friend that's struggling with the type of stuff that my friend was on the roof, just like I have, my kids in the future. Like, I need to be able to speak to them with true words. And if I'm going to encourage anyone to do what I think we're all supposed to do, is just be on the path forward, then I have to have lived that in my life. And I can't really I don't think can really wrap my head around it right now about why I feel so much like I'm supposed to do this, but that's what I feel like I'm supposed to do. And so that's what I'm doing. And just trying to do what I'm supposed to do and say what I'm supposed to say. Because now, if I was to have that conversation with someone that's going through that, I feel like I would be able to speak to them, at least honestly. I don't know if I'll be able to change anyone's mind, but at least for myself, I can be able to say words that I actually believe in.